And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. This is Food, Fitness, and Fun. This is episode 4 of season 2. And we're here to get straight into it today. Today we are skipping our sponsored by section and we're going to dive right into it. So as you know, I've been doing a lot of events, Dre, going to different things. And, sometimes they have food vendors there.
No doubt.
Cats sell different things. Sometimes you get some of the basics, fried chicken, mac and cheese. Cats get their soul food on. And, I was at a couple events recently and the mac and cheese ain't been hitting. Like, it was either just cheesy.
Right.
And not flavorful. Or it just didn't have enough flavor to it. It's like cats ain't seasoning the mac and cheese. I don't understand why. It looks good, but then when you get it, it's like, ooh, gooey, fresh mac and cheese. They got it heating up in the sternals, They peel back that aluminum foil. You're like, ooh, let me get some of that. Yeah, let me get some of that. And then you eat it, and it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have got some of that.
So when you say they're not seasoning it, what for you is a good, well-seasoned mac and cheese? How does that look to you?
But that's what I'm saying. It's not about the aesthetics. Like, aesthetically, it looks good, but it just doesn't have any flavor, though. Like, it's like lacking pepper, or I mean, it's been different every time. But it's just like, are cats not seasoning the mac and cheese? Do they think that you just gotta boil noodles and add cheese and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to know, because I know some people like to do different cheeses and make the cheeses the seasoning, right? So they're like, oh, I added this type of cheese and that type of cheese there. Oh, my mac and cheese got 5 different cheeses. It's like, oh, all right. And for them, that gives it the flavor.
I mean, that is true. That could be the flavor profile, the cheeses, but I think cats are just dumping cheddar on top and calling it a day at some spots.
And these are commercial spots or like
it's like vendors selling food at the pop-ups and the different events that I've been going to.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. I think people are trying to probably make things plain so that I don't know, so that you don't have people maybe with allergies or something, because the more you season stuff, the more you find people will sometimes be like, oh, does this have garlic in it? Does this have red pepper? Because I can't, you know what I mean?
So I mean, I don't know anybody allergic to black pepper. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like the more commercial places get, the more commercial people get, the more plain they make their food, the less seasoning.
But that's what I'm saying. These are not commercial spots. This is like Dre coming through to the venue, right? And like, hey, listen, Dre's in the back selling mac and cheese. Okay, I'll give you an example. Remember when we linked up and we was out and we passed by that food truck?
Yeah.
And they just had a bunch of stuff out and they were selling stuff right out the truck?
Right.
It's like that, but just indoors.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is so you opening that to the public. You know what I'm saying? And the more people open up to the public, to me, it seems like the more plain the food tastes. You know what I mean? Because the more seasoning, I don't know, the more like, I don't know, trouble you might potentially get into.
I mean, I get like nut allergies and, maybe certain milks. Yeah. Like I know some people, like, for example, if you have a nut allergy, you can't use cashew milk or some of the other things that people might use for alternatives. Totally get that. But damn, like no pepper, no salt, no nothing. Like,
I feel you, man.
Just cheddar and shells. You know what I'm saying?
Because people see seasoning sometimes as unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? And the more plain it is, they feel like, oh yeah, it's healthier. Like, I mean, just take all the seasoning off, all the flavoring, and just the actual thing, and it's like, oh yeah, that's healthy now. It tastes like garbage.
But let's have a real conversation. Mac and cheese is not healthy. It's noodles drowning in cheese.
Right, but you could say it's healthier because you took all the garbage off
Because
off
you
it.
didn't,
You
because you
know
ain't
what I
put
mean?
no garlic, salt, or pepper.
Right. Because
Oh,
there
come
you
on,
go.
son.
See now I can say, oh, my mac and cheese is low in sodium, so
Okay,
go through. See
all
what I
right.
mean?
I guess, but they ain't saying that. They're just like, yo, this mac and cheese is hitting. This mac and cheese is
Yeah,
great. Come get some of this mac and
yeah,
cheese.
yeah. You're right. You're right. They're
Like,
probably just being lazy and just like, you know what? I'm done. Finished.
I don't know. I just thought it was
Now,
weird. And I was like, where can I talk about this? Because I don't know who to talk about this with. And I was like, oh, let's skip our sponsored by this week. And let's talk about seasoning the mac and cheese.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I don't
yeah.
know. I
You
don't know
know,
why.
they probably, like I said, man, they probably just being lazy. You
Right.
know, no nothing. Like you just said in the beginning, just noodles, cheese. Now give me $7.
You know what I'm saying? Damn. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, here's my little $5, $6, $7, no problem. You know,
Right,
you get your little side container. You go sit down, take
right,
off your mask, and hope no one comes around you. You just okay. And then it's
right.
like, oh, you just took my $7.
Which is, yeah, which is whack. I mean, for me, even as somebody who try to watch my calories and stuff, it's like if I'm gonna eat stuff like that, I want to enjoy it. You know,
Absolutely.
like that's something I'm not gonna have every day. You know, I might have
Right.
that every now and then. Like, you know what, man, I haven't had mac and cheese in a long time. Let me get some. So when I want some, I want it to be good.
Right.
Like I don't want the so-called healthy version of it.
Yeah,
Like,
nah,
no,
I'm being gluttonous. Let me enjoy it.
exactly. You
Yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
weird. I don't know
That's
what
what's
that's
up.
about.
All right.
But speaking about not knowing what that's about, you had a topic talking about stopping the lies. Let's get
Oh
into it.
yeah, you know, I want to talk about exercise lies. You know, what I
Mm.
mean by exercise lies is like you hear
Let me sit
this,
up
like
for this
people
one.
are
Hold on,
like,
let me get up
yo,
close.
yeah. People will put out there these like wild numbers of certain exercises, usually
Mm.
basics, right? It'd be like, oh, you know, I do about 700 push-ups and I do about 1,000 curls, or I do, you know, my sit-ups. I'd like to do like
Right,
500 sit-ups and all this.
right.
And I'm always like, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing a really, you're not doing 1,000 push-ups, son.
Yeah.
Stop with that. Like with I understand it probably comes from like a lot of like male ego bullshit, you know, where people are like, we always trying to compare and contrast one another, always competing with one another. So it's like, oh man, yeah, man, I do push-ups all day. I do like 400 push-ups. I was
Right.
talking to a friend, and it's like, oh man, I do like 400. No, you don't. You don't do 400 push-ups. You don't. You know what I mean? I'm looking, and then
Right.
even if you do, so what? Like, if I'm looking at your
Now let's
body,
talk about
if
that.
I'm
You know what
looking
I'm
at,
saying? So what?
yeah, if I'm looking at your body and I'm saying, okay, you're telling me you could do 400 push-ups. Okay. All right, let's go to the gym. Let's, you know, do some bench press. Let me see what you got. What's your one rep max? Can you bench press 300 pounds? No. Okay, so that 400 push-ups ain't doing anything. You're
Mm.
not getting stronger. That's why I'm like, I think that's bullshit because what is it doing? If you could do 400 push-ups, like maybe you did 400 push-ups when you was in high school at some point in time. I
Okay.
don't know. But you're not doing 400 push-ups now, and you probably never did.
Mm.
That's probably just some like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of these exercise lies. Like, oh yeah, my sit-ups, I wake up in the morning and I do 400, 500 sit-ups and blah, 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 and go about my day.
Right.
I don't believe that shit, man.
But
I
let
just
me
think
let me
that,
ask you something. The people who are
go
saying
ahead.
this, the people making these claims, are their bodies reflecting that? Like, are they cut up? Are they, are they lean?
Most of the time, their bodies don't reflect it. They might be lean, but they don't look strong. As you know, there's a difference. So you could be, I don't want to say frail, but you could definitely be small You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're strong.
Right, that's what
You
I'm
know,
asking. So are these cats cut up? Because like the cats who do the park thing, right? Like the cats who they just do dips, pull ups, they do all that stuff constantly, leg
right,
lifts, crazy amounts of leg lifts.
right,
You could
right.
see in their body, like they don't look like you, they don't look swole, they don't look like they're lifting 300, but they're cut the fuck up.
Oh no, no doubt, no
That's what
doubt.
I'm
And
saying.
even
So the
those
cats
dudes.
make the claims you're speaking about, or do they look like that? Are they looking crazy
No,
cut?
they no, they don't. And even those dudes who do a bunch of calisthenics, right?
Uh-huh.
Like when you watch them, they're not doing 50 or 100 pull-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like one, two, no, they're not. They're not, and they look great. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the dudes that you're absolutely right. You go to the parks, you see them all the time. They get in. They in there early in the morning. They doing their thing,
Absolutely.
and even and they never brag about how many pull-ups or whatever they do. They just go in
No,
there and do it.
they just get it
Because
in.
if you can do something, you just do it. You
That's
don't
right.
need to make it that announcement. I just feel like the cats who are faking with it, who are just like, yeah, man, yeah, I do this and I do this. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, you don't, man. You know what I mean? No, you don't. You
Right.
lying your
But that's
ass
why
off.
I asked, because I do know some cats who do like the park thing. And like one of my boys, I mean, I don't know what he's doing currently, but at one point he was one of those park dudes. And he was in there killing it. Like he would be in there doing crazy amounts of pull-ups, crazy amounts of dips. I would see him doing the leg lifts and the inverted leg lifts. And, he was really doing his thing. And remember, even when we worked out together with Jesus, we used to see the cat come in, do his crazy fly shit on the bars.
Oh yeah.
So that's
Oh
why I'm
yeah.
asking. But again, the cats who do that, their body reflects it. Like my boy, when he
Right.
was hitting the parks and he was doing all of that, he was looking click, clack, 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 like you could see everything. Chest was looking good, stomach was cut up, you know what I'm saying? Arms was looking strong. And one of my old coworkers, his name is Anthony. Anthony hits the park all the time. He does it. His lady does it. There's a whole squad of them. And again, you can see like they be in there doing the competitions with the pull-ups, with the
Yeah.
dips, with the leg lifts. I mean, there's more they do. I'm just saying like those are the ones I see them do and post constantly,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
No
it
doubt.
reflects it. So that's why I ask. But yeah, I don't know why
Yeah.
cats do that either. I don't know why cats is out here lying. But listen, if they lie on their, I guess why not lie on everything else, right? Like, I mean, if that's your
Right.
style, if you just out here lying, a lie is a lie.
Right. Right.
But you do look
Right.
silly
And
though, because if I'm saying like, yo, Dre, yo, man, I wake up every day and I do 500 sit-ups ASAP, then I should have the crazy six pack, not a dad bod gut.
right. Or yeah, like, oh yeah, I wake up every morning and I run 10 miles and
Right,
20. Like, no, you don't.
right.
No, you don't. You
Because
know what I'm
you
saying?
would look
Like,
it. Like if you run in 10, 20
right.
miles, you would look it.
On a daily basis, that's some
Right.
marathon shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You'd be looking
And
like
like
our
you
man
said,
Rich Roll.
exactly. And I think that's the point I'm making. As the cats who do that, they don't go around saying this is what I do. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? They just do it because
Absolutely.
it takes so much time to do that. You don't have the time to get your flag and hey, show everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just actually doing it. I mean, because it takes
Yep.
a lot of preparation to get to that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
It takes
saying?
a lot of slow build.
Right, right. So stop lying with the bullshit, man. And if you go and do some, like my thing is just do whatever you do. If it's working,
Right.
that's
Absolutely.
what's up. If you want to do more, increase it. But
Right.
the bullshit lies, yeah, that got to stop.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't understand why cats do that. But I'm not big on lying in general. So I definitely not going to be lying in the gym. Plus, the other thing is it's easy to test you. If you tell me, yo, Jay, I could squat 500, it's easy to be like, all right, so next gym session, I want to see that 500.
Exactly.
And now you're
Exactly.
going to be on Planet Fitness Fails Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love those gym
Which is
fails.
building up.
You know what I'm
Yeah, them
saying?
gym fails is building. Those are my
Right.
favorites.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what
You're
I'm
gonna be
saying?
on there. You're gonna be the new viral person. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, if you can't do it, you can't do it. It's okay. You
Yeah, and
know?
that's why, like, I think something that we have said throughout this pod and that we have always said throughout our training time together and with others is start where you at. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
wherever you at. If you can only bench press the bar, yo fam, just bench press the bar. That's all. You're gonna get where you want to get if you're consistent. But if you can only do the
Yeah.
bar, fam, do the bar. Kill that bar. You
But
know
the
what I'm saying?
thing, what people don't understand is it's not about the weight at all.
No.
It's about how your body reacts. So whether you're talking about just the bar 45 pounds or 245 pounds, you're trying to get a reaction.
Right.
You're trying to get a muscular reaction from the weight.
Right.
So if 40 pounds can do it for me, I'm gonna use 40 pounds. For me personally, that's a little bit too light. So I'm gonna have to increase it to
Right.
get the certain reaction I'm trying to get. But it's
Right.
never about the weight. You know what I'm saying? It's about
Right.
you.
Yeah,
The weight
challenging
is just
yourself.
tools. Yeah, the weight is just tools. You know, okay, you need this tool, somebody else need a different tool.
Right.
That's all.
Yep.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's been a topic that we've had on our list for a while, something that
Hmm.
you wanted to discuss as well. I know I'm ODing on you this pod. You're gonna lead all the topics this pod, baby.
It's all good. It's
So
all
that
good. Let's do
was
it.
NEAT.
Oh yeah.
N-E-A-T. What is NEAT? I'm not aware.
Yeah.
Put me on.
Neat is probably one of the most important I would say kind of
Acronyms.
like ratings. Yeah. Well, not necessarily acronyms, but one of the most important especially when you're talking about losing weight. Like most people we're all concerned about losing weight. And we get into, oh, I burned this amount of calories at the gym and I burned this amount of calories doing my bike ride or doing my run or doing my cardio session. And all that's good. But you burn most of your calories when you're not exercising at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're not, it's just what do you do on a regular basis that has nothing to do with exercise? That's when you're burning most of your calories. You're burning most of your calories just by your heart pumping, you walking from here to there. That's when your most of the calories are burnt throughout the day. So you
Right.
could probably, they estimate about maybe 2,000 of those calories is from NEAT. And NEAT is simply non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's just like a fancy way of
Mm.
saying, how are you, what are you doing, what activity are you doing that's not exercise related? And we have a number that says these amount of calories you're burning that has nothing to do with exercise. So you take somebody like you know, you have a pretty active life where you have to like walk to a train station and then walk to this other thing and then walk to this other thing and then
Right.
walk to your building, and then once you get to your building there's like mad activities that you have to do while you're there.
Right.
If it's one of these snowy ass days, you already know you're going
Out
to
there
be
shoveling,
killing
baby.
it, right?
Yep.
Killing it, right? So
Cleanstreets.com.
somebody yeah, somebody that has like some sort of occupation like you're gonna be burning a lot more calories than that dude that's just like, well, since the pandemic, I can work from home, so I wake up in the morning and I turn on my computer and I sit there and I,
Right.
have my Zoom meetings. They're not so if we compared NEAT, we'd be like, man, well, Jay's NEAT is way up here. This other person is way down there because y'all could both be going to the gym, but you're burning a lot more calories because you're a lot more active
Right.
outside of exercise,
Right.
you know? And so that's a little sort of trick if you want to burn more calories. I like to do things like where I live, I drive a lot, but wherever I go, I try to park far away from like where I'm going,
Right. I remember you
right?
said that in
So
one of our early episodes.
yeah, it's like I park far away from people. I try to walk places much as I can.
Right.
I used to ride my bike a lot,
Yep.
just to and fro, and I want to really get back into that. Those little things like that, even though it's not burning like a ton of calories, but that adds up. And so that makes my NEAT way higher
Right.
than if I just like drive everywhere or try to make things always convenient. Oh, I
Yep.
want the closest spot. I want to be right next to the door. I'd be
Right.
like, no, I want to be furthest away from the door.
Right.
You know, I'd rather walk 400 feet because I know my NEAT is going to increase.
Right.
You know,
So in layman's terms, this is basically measuring the activity we're doing outside of the gym, the calories we're burning throughout the day, but not when we're quote unquote working out.
yeah. So anything outside of exercise. So this
Okay.
is all the calories you burn just by being a person.
Right.
You know,
Like at
that's whether you're
work, if you have
sleeping. Yeah.
kids, taking them to work,
Right.
chasing them around.
Yep, all that. If you have a pet, you have a dog, and you got to walk your dog every day. Well, the person that has a dog and have to walk that dog every day is going to burn a lot more calories than that person who doesn't have a pet in the morning,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So all these things count, and this is what you count in terms of not your exercise. So this
Gotcha.
is outside either the gym or just saying, oh, I just want to go for a walk, which you might consider exercise, but it's like, no, this is what you do on a daily basis. What do you do at your job every day?
Right.
If you're just sitting there writing, where I teach, so it's like, well, if I'm on my feet and I'm around kids, that's a lot more calories I'm burning if I'm just sitting there at a desk.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, all that stuff like matters. And like I said, the little hack or a little tweak is trying to find more things to do that's not convenient to
Right.
accelerate that NEAT.
Right. Instead of
That's
taking
non.
that 5 minute bus ride, walk a mile.
Yeah, if you're like, you know what, or if you do take the bus, like, what, I'm gonna get off one stop earlier. Something as simple as that, to be like, oh, I'm gonna get off one stop earlier.
Right.
Take a little walk.
Right.
Because maybe my bus stop lets me off right in front of my house.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's convenient, that's nice. But if you want to increase your NEAT a little bit and it's a nice day, get off one stop earlier, get off two stops earlier.
Right.
I don't know. Something like that is going to, or if you take the train, you take the train, like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to take the local and I'm going to get off one stop before my stop
Right.
or after and walk back a little bit.
Right.
It's a nice day. I want to get more. I'm going to get my steps in.
Listen,
as you used to
that's what I
always
say.
say.
Get your steps in. That's
Get
my
your
thing.
steps in.
I don't know why I didn't put
Yeah.
that on the shirt yet, but I say that all the time. I always say I'm
Yeah.
getting my steps in. You know what I'm saying?
Get your steps in, right?
Yeah, one of my dudes, he listens to the pod. He's my coworker. Shout out to my man Frank. I told him that, and he started killing the game. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo, Jay, how you be doing it? It's hard for me to get to the gym." I said, "Well, at work we got a lot of downtime. Walk at work." Then he starts showing me 20,000 steps, 30,000 steps, 35,000 steps, and his weight start going.
Yep.
And Frank was killing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's what he told me when he hit me up. I'll just walk in. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Frank?" He just, "Yo, man, look, getting my steps in." I said, "Okay, get your steps in, baby. That's what I like."
I have a friend of mine who's a truck driver, so he's always on the road, driving a truck, which is you're not burning a lot of calories. You're sitting on your ass
and drinking a lot of stuff to stay awake.
And to stay awake. So what I told him is like, hey, when you get to that truck stop, and I know sometimes they got to take their showers or whatever, I'm like, just walk around, just do that circle. Most of these truck stops are big, especially outside the city. You go to a big truck stop, it might be the size of a football field.
Right.
Take that walk. Before you do anything, just walk around.
Right.
Try to go around once, time it. If you don't want to get a fitness tracker, because a lot of people are not into that, that's fine.
Right.
You can still just time it.
Yep.
Just time it. All right.
Yeah.
Let me see how long it took me. All right, it took me 10 minutes. Try to do it again. Try to do it in 8 minutes this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. You're building up your non-exercise activity. You're building up, those calories, getting more steps in. It's better than just going inside, getting gas, getting the coffee, blah, 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 and going back in.
Right.
You burn zero. You ain't burning much calories like that.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, and what we're both saying is, this is not crazy exercise.
No.
You might get an additional 50 or 100 or 200 calories. That's different 50 to 200 calories you wasn't burning before.
Right.
So little small tweaks like that, non-exercise activity, get your NEAT up. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Oh, can you say the full definition again? The full
So
thing.
it's non-exercise. Dang, I just messed it up.
Activity.
Yeah, non-exercise activity thermogenesis.
There you
Yeah,
go.
N.E.A.T, non-exercise activity
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the
thermogenesis.
screen, but that's why I wanted it so I could put it out on the
Yeah,
screen.
that's what it is.
Yo,
So
real
yeah.
quick.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta stop saying I'm gonna put things on the screen.
And then don't do it, right?
Yeah, because sometimes I forget. Like during the editing, I'm like, oh man, I'm in a rush editing. I'll go back and then I'll forget. And then other times I'm like, man, where the hell is all this information? Now I gotta go put 20 things on the screen. Damn.
Right.
I gotta start
Right.
watching my mouth when I say I'm gonna put things on the screen because
Yeah, because
it'd be a
people will
lot
be like, "What's
sometimes.
up? What's
Say it
going
again.
on?" Yeah, I said because people be like, "What's up?" I don't see it on the screen.
I know. Terrible. I'm trying to get better, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get better. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But
no doubt.
yeah, neat is good, and yeah, I just tell people the same thing. I tell people just try to be more active. That's something that a lot of people have been struggling with during these work from home times. Like you mentioned, that was a
Yeah,
great example. So my people who work from home, they're like, man, I'm putting on weight, or even if they're not, they're just like, yo, I feel like blah, like I feel whack. I feel like I'm just low on energy. I'm like, yo, you got to go take walks. Like, I'm not saying go run. I'm not saying ride the bike. I'm not saying hit the gym, but go walk. You know what I'm saying? You get an hour lunch break. You working from home. You can eat at any time. Take that hour, go walk for 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? After work, walk another couple
that's right.
minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
so or like we always say, take the steps. You know what I'm saying? You got to go somewhere instead of taking that elevator. Take the steps. You at Broadway Junction?
Take the steps.
Take them steps.
Right. Take the steps. No, you're right though. That
Take
Broadway
the
Junction. That's
steps.
more of a mountain than anything
At the
else.
end of
You
Broadway Junction,
gotta
you
be
got to
ready
hit
for
the Rocky, son. Yeah, Adrian.
that. Those are like, whoa,
That's why
okay.
I lift up
But
like that. For cats who know, they know when you get to
yeah,
Broadway Junction,
yeah,
you be looking
you
like,
know.
am I gonna
But
take these steps though?
all steps are not like that. So if you're like, oh,
Right,
I can't do that, that's cool.
right.
You could do some other ones, do some smaller steps. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Hmm. But like in the
Same
train
thing. It's
stations,
like
all the train stations have elevators and escalators. A lot of them. Skip that shit. Take the steps.
exactly. Or even if you live in a building that has steps, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? You could be like, let's say I live on the 10th floor. I'm gonna
Hmm.
say to myself, you know what? I'm gonna get off on the 8th floor and I'm gonna
Take two
walk two.
flights.
And I'm gonna walk 2 flights.
That's
And
right.
then
Take two
gradually,
flights and call me in the morning.
no doubt. But then gradually it's like, okay, next time I'm gonna do it on the 7th floor,
Right.
then the 6th floor. And before you know it, I mean, because walking up steps is incredibly, great exercise. You're using so
Absolutely.
much of your muscles. It's a
Absolutely.
great cardio exercise. So, I would never be like, oh yeah, just walk up 10 flights of steps. You're not ready for
Nah.
that.
Don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? You're
Don't
not
do
ready
that.
for that.
Nah.
But get on the 8th floor and walk up 2 flights.
Right.
Try that. You know what I'm saying? Find those little tiny things that will help increase your NEAT.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
So we covered our topics. Let's have a little fun now. You
All
got
right.
time
What's
for
up?
fun? Yeah,
Let's
I got
do it.
time. You got a couple minutes for fun?
Why not? Let's do it.
So many years ago, they did a Star Wars cartoon called Clone Wars. And the purpose was to fill the gap between episode 2, Attack of the Clone Wars, and episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And I watched it with my daughter many years ago. Then me and her watched it a second time. And then, like, we've watched the second half a third time. She watched, like, some at home, some with me. And I remember I've told you about it because one of your dudes, Darth Maul, is all up in that show after a certain point. So finally, you've watched it, and you called me about it yesterday. So I figured we save it for the pod.
So here it go. Let's go in for it for a minute. So it's like, yeah, it's if you're not a Star Wars fan, you could probably just turn this part
Yeah, this
off.
is the end of the pod for you. If you're not a Star
Right.
Wars fan, thanks for coming.
But
See you next week.
if you're a Star Wars fan and you've watched all the episodes 1 to 7, whatever it is,
Right.
you know the story, right?
Right.
And says, oh, okay. And so I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm like, okay, yeah, I watched the story. I've seen the story. I even have, some comic books, whatever, some graphic novels. Okay.
Right.
So I know the story. And I always slept on the like animated or cartoon versions because I'm like,
Yep.
that shit is for kids. And it sound like it's for kids when you watch it half the time. I'm like, what the
Right.
fuck are they talking about? So
Right.
if I ignored it for like mad years. And I don't know, I've been watching the joint on Disney,
Boba
the
Fett.
Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, which
Mandalorian.
is really, even though it's separate books, there's really very same
Intertwined.
stories.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're intertwined stories. And so it made me more interested in some of those characters, especially the character Ahsoka.
Yep.
And so I remember Ahsoka from the Clone Wars.
Yep.
So I'm like, man, this is an interesting character. Let me watch the Clone Wars. I'll just kind of tolerate the kitty bullshit, whatever.
Right.
And so that's what got me to say, let me look at these Clone Wars. Because I know you've been telling me for years. Other people have been telling, oh, you got to watch it. I'm like, yeah, well, I'll get to it. So I watched the Clone Wars. And I say, if you were like me, and you were like, watch that shit, whatever, that shit is for the kids. Yo, do yourself a favor and watch those Clone Wars. The Clone Wars, the reason why it's so difficult to watch because it's a story where you already know the ending. So if you watch the movies, I already know how the Clone Wars, why am I watching this? Right. I know who wins. I know who loses. I know the Clone Wars. Right. But it's not that. It's all these stories in between what happened. Yes. Because when you look at what's going on, you're realizing what came to my understanding was you're realizing that, oh, wait a minute. This dude, Anakin, this young Jedi, is being shaped and molded by war. He's not looking at things the way regular Jedis looked at things in times of peace. Right. He's looking at things like, yeah, kill people. That's cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, wipe them out. This is what you do. He's so young. He's so impressionable. And even though he gets his own Padawan, who is Ahsoka, he's basically teaching her there's rules and then there's not rules. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not supposed to do this, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Right. And she's on some like, yo, you're wild. None of this shit is in the Jedi code. Right. Yeah, I know. But
I know. I'm making it up as I go.
With me.
Right.
Right. And so for me, it's like it makes it a more colorful and fuller story to see how this young man is crafted by war. Mm-hmm. And you kind of understand why he turned into what he turned into. Well, it wasn't just one thing or two things. It's multiple battles that he's having.
Absolutely.
He has to make decisions to just like kill people. Right. One of my favorite scenes. Yeah. And one of my favorite scenes, obviously he gets used to killing people. There's a scene where it's Obi-Wan, and I think it's like his lady, the one that he used to like. And
Padme.
No, Obi-Wan's
the Queen of Mandalore, yeah.
Yeah, her, right? Like they had something, but obviously, look, I'm a Jedi. I can't really do this. I'm not supposed to have attachments, but I still feel for you the way I feel for you.
Yep.
Her ex or whoever this guy was, like put the gun to her head and was holding her. And Obi could have iced him, but he was like, man, I can't just like kill people. And the dude knew it. He's like, you a Jedi. You can't just kill me. What you know? And then the Queen of Mandalore, she couldn't do it either. Right. And it was like this moment, like somebody's gonna have to do something. And then Anakin just came from the back.
That's it.
And they were like, Anakin, what? He was like, what? He had a bomb. He was gonna kill everybody. What you talking about? Let's go.
That's it.
He didn't even
Right.
think about it
Nah,
twice.
nah. He was like, yo, this
And it's like, yo,
it's like, yo, you was gonna let him kill the queen?
it's like Obi-Wan,
Who's
you ain't see that this
who's
is a
your
whole
boo?
different dude now.
Right.
This is not the dude that you trained. This is a whole different, like, all the apprehensions that you had as a Jedi, he had none of them.
None of them. Yeah, none of them.
Zero. He didn't think about it for a half a second. Zoop,
Nah.
you had a bomb. I mean,
He had a bomb. That's it.
you had a bomb. He's gonna blow everybody up. What
You know
I
what I'm
do?
saying? And
I
that's
was like,
because,
yo.
on some Godfather-ish,
Yeah.
he's a wartime cleric. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A wartime concierge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they told him, you seen Godfather, they was like, Tom, we love you, but you're not a wartime concierge. And right now it's
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we need. And it's like when someone is young like that and they're being shaped and molded by war, their whole perspective of life is going to be
Absolutely
different. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely
so yeah, man, it just, not I have to go into a whole bunch of things, but that was just one example of how I'm like, yo, this is a very flourishing and rich story
Yep.
that it's not going to be like, oh, now I understand Star Wars, but it's just like, oh, it gives you more color and more depth into these characters,
Absolutely.
And so now I'm really understanding Ahsoka, I know it's just a lot more to her and I'm not done, but I see where she gets this sort of like, yeah, light and dark. You can kind of, it's not as pure as one might think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This kind of like standoff shit.
Yep.
Because even in the in the Mandalorian, when they find Goku and they bring her to, like, she's the first Jedi. She's like, yeah, you got to find a Jedi to train him.
Right.
And he's like, aren't you a Jedi?
No.
It's complicated with me, dude. You
Yeah.
need, like, I mean, this dude got like mad powers and he could probably do a lot. The last mofo you want to train him is me. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If you think Darth Vader's a piece of shit, look, I got some history.
Right.
And if you don't understand those stories, you might be like, well, why wouldn't she? Like, man, she's kind of selfish like that. You should. Right. But it's like, no, she got some like real fucking history. Yep. With that whole Jedi and the Order and things like that, it's like, even when she, I don't want to give anything away. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but even when she says to Luke, you got a lot of your father in you. That's like some deep shit. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen that
yet. Yeah.
I'm way behind on Boba Fett because I only watch it with my daughter, and we've been busy doing other things, so. Like all the people putting out clips and breakdowns, I'm like, skip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep. And I feel like for you and your daughter, it's going to be even deeper because y'all know this past already.
Oh, yeah.
So when y'all see these characters, it's like, oh.
Yeah, well, she was really excited that Ahsoka was in Mandalorian. And, they've announced that Ahsoka's getting a show.
Yes.
So Ahsoka's getting a good show. There's an Obi-Wan show coming. And she is really excited about both of that. But Ahsoka's actually always been one of her favorite characters because when my daughter was really small, she would come over and watch all this kid stuff. And after a while, it was driving me nuts. Like, I'm like, son, I cannot keep watching Fresh Beat Band and all this teeny bopper stuff. So I was like, man, what can I show her that I can tolerate? And I had never seen Clone Wars. But I was like, maybe Clone Wars would be something she'll be into. And she loved Clone Wars. But who's one of the main characters of Clone Wars? Ahsoka. So she's always been a huge Ahsoka fan. Like, I talk about it all the time with her because I remember, when you're a kid, you're attached different. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when Ahsoka was like on trial for murder and all that stuff in the Clone Wars. She was going through it. Baby girl was like, Daddy, why? Daddy, why? I was like, baby,
that's deep.
This is life. Sometimes the things you believe in, they betray you. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's deep. That's deep. And see, I dig that as a, someone who's into like youth development, and I understand obviously you're a father. So it's like these are opportunities where you have conversations where it's like,
absolutely,
here's this character who believes in this order, dedicated her life to it.
Right.
But the moment shit gets a little inconvenient, none of y'all believed in me.
Word. Just was like, nah, sorry.
And the only cat who was like, this is ridiculous was Anakin. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Who was like, I don't care about what that evidence say.
Right.
I'm telling you, she would never do that.
Right.
Well, it's nothing that we could do, Anakin. She has to go up there and blah, blah, blah. And you was going to actually like have her die rather than understanding her heart. And so now that he did what he had to do, he got the evidence the Anakin way. You know what I'm saying? Because someone's like, what you going to try to do? Jedi mind trick. Zing. Oh, so now I don't have an arm now? Okay, right. I'll tell you. Hold on. Right. That's not something that a Jedi's supposed to do. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, I'm getting results by letting go of some of this Jedi shit.
Right.
Which, once again, you understand how Anakin becomes who he becomes.
Absolutely.
But he believed in where the Jedi Order didn't. And that fucked with her. Like, I can't sit here and roll with y'all now. So I'm now supposed to just pretend that we good and go back into some training.
She was like, nah, I'm out.
I can't. No. Nah.
She was like, nah, I got to go, baby.
Right. It's like any relationship that's supposed to be based on trust. Like, y'all supposed to know me. Absolutely. Which is why this whole shit is so fly. Because it's like, I just have a whole new respect for Senator Palpatine, man. I mean, the chess player of chess players, bro. This dude, man. Oh my God. This dude is just the flyest when it comes to playing chess.
And I love that when they reintroduced Darth Maul, that's what he was telling cats. He was like, yo, when I get back to my master, you'll understand, because my master, he got all type of stuff going on that we could never do. You know what I'm saying? Even when he challenged him, he was like, brother, you have to come with me because it's going to take two of us if we want to overthrow my master. He knew, like, son, I can't mess with this dude.
Like,
can't mess with this dude.
And the way he came through, like, you know what? Let me deal with this myself because I got a whole plan, and what you're doing is fucking up my plan right now. Absolutely. I'm not even taking what you're doing personal, but niggas been planning for mad years, and you coming out of nowhere trying to be some crime syndicate shit.
Right.
You know what?
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna need like 20 minutes. I gotta go deal with something. I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Just came through. It was like,
let me take care of both of y'all.
Take a few of these.
Right.
Real quick.
Gotta
go.
You
know what I'm saying? But
crime
in terms of his like planning, it was just like, yo, this dude, man.
Right.
Woo.
You know what I'm saying? So now here's where it gets a little interesting. So you know, like I told you on the phone, so Clone Wars was going on for a long time, and then it got kind of cut off for multiple reasons. And then Disney bought Star Wars, and by popular demand, they brought back Clone Wars. But in between that, Disney already had started making moves. So Disney put out this show Rebels, and I never even heard of it. Like I heard like a whisper about it. It was like, oh, there's a Star Wars thing called Rebels. You seen it? And I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm good. I already know about the Rebels. They was like, no, this is different. I was like, nah. But then one of my dudes was like, I'll be honest, I think it was Wookiee. I think it was bare minimum. And I think he's the one that was like, yo, you might really want to watch that Rebel shit because it looked like that's where Disney's heading. Like they're using everything that happened in that show to move forward. I was like, really? Some old cartoon joint? He was like, yeah, but remember we all thought Clone Wars was some random cartoon joint? I was like, all right, listen. But listen, when you right, you're right. And you're right.
Yeah, no
I'm going to give it a shot. So me and baby girl, even baby girl was like, Daddy, do we have to watch this? Like, we already saw Clone Wars. So I kept it real with her. I was like, yo, you know my man. This is what he said. She's like, all right, if that's what he said, let's give it a shot. So we did. You know what I'm saying? We gave it a shot. And so Rebels starts off very similar to Clone Wars in the fact that like it's real kiddish at first, but it starts getting really deep. I'm talking about Jedi temples, Sith powers to rewrite people's minds, They get into like how Darth Vader was hunting down Jedis. Yo, mad
Yeah.
stuff is in that
Yeah,
show.
that's what's up.
And
Yeah.
that's where you really see Ahsoka become who she is now. So some of the main characters of that show are like random new people.
Right.
And like I tell you on the phone, Disney kind of tied stuff together. So that black saber is a big part of the later seasons of Rebels, but there's only like I think 3 seasons of Rebels. It's short, but the black saber is part of that. Ahsoka's a big part of that show. After a certain point, Darth Maul is a big part of that show.
Yeah.
His whole crime syndicate is involved in there, and there's a lot of like force powers in there.
No doubt.
And also Admiral Thrawn, that's his name, right? That they mentioned at the end of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Admiral Thrawn is the main bad guy in Rebels.
No doubt. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and you know, and that's what everyone's been saying is that since the Mandalorian Boba Fett came out, like the numbers for Clone Wars and Rebels has just skyrocketed in terms of people watching it now.
Of course.
Because everybody's feeling the same way I feel like, wait, I gotta get some backstory here.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, where does all this stuff come from? You know what I'm saying? Or what's the science on it? Like,
no
they did a really good job with Rebels after the first season. And like I told you, that that Disney came and did what they had to do. They start closing gaps. Like the Clone Wars show, what was it with the Rebel Squad? I can't remember the name. Those weird the Lost Batch or whatever the hell. What's it called?
Oh, Bad Batch. The Bad Batch.
So Bad Batch closed one story. You know, Bad Batch closed the chapter. Okay, cool.
Right.
Clone Wars closed the chapter. Rebels closed the chapter. So they're opening up the universe while also closing certain things. It's like, okay, cool. And I think that's really smart. Like just like they did with Rogue One. Rogue One is one of my favorite films from Star Wars.
Great story. Yeah, it's just to like let's lay down a great story. Yeah.
And so that's what's been happening. And I think Disney has done a great job of that. So a piece of that is, like I said on the phone to you, is that Padawan who gets away in the first episode of the last season of Clone Wars or Bad Batch. One of those. In one of the shows, there's a kid who's a Padawan who gets away. I think it's Bad Batch.
I think that's Rebels. Yeah, or maybe Bad Batch. I did the same thing with Bad Batch. I started watching a couple episodes. It got too kiddie for me, and I'm like, okay,
I think it's the first episode of Bad Batch. Actually, now that I think about it,
yeah.
They're hunting down. They start flipping it, and they're like, "Oh, we got to hunt down Jedi," and they start killing Jedi. And there's a kid who they let get away. That kid is the main character in Rebels. You find out like after a few episodes, it's like, what's up with this dude? He's like kind of force sensitive or something. And it comes out that he's like, yeah, I was a Padawan when everybody started killing Jedis. I got away.
No doubt. Yeah. That's what they're saying about Grogu too. Is that Grogu was in the he was in the Jedi temple and he watched everybody get iced and somebody saved him. We still don't know who.
We still don't know who.
Saving that till next season. But somebody was like, this dude is way too powerful. We gotta make sure he make it out of here.
Absolutely.
Because Anakin is wilding out right now.
Anakin is wilding. You know that's my favorite. Master Anakin. There's too many of them. What should we do?
I have no feelings about it. I had no feelings about it. One of my favorite joints.
I killed all.
But that's what I mean, man. It's a very interesting story in terms of what, you know. I always say, like, you can't just, this person is good, this person is evil. That's way too simple. It's like things make people. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the greatest things about the character Anakin is if you look at who he is in episode 1, right? Just this kid that, you know, just wants to get off this planet. I don't really want to be a slave no more.
Right.
And his whole thing is started in love. Like, yo, I love my mom, man. Like, okay, I did the pod racing. I won. And now you're telling me only I can go. I got to leave my mom here in slavery. All right. You agree with that because you're just trying to get off the planet and you're a little boy. But as you grow up, it's like, bro, I need to go see my mom. Oh, no, you can't do that. And then from that point on, it's like disappointment, love, disappointment, love, disappointment, love, surrounded in war.
Yep.
It's no telling the reason why he became who he became.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's like, yeah, of course he became the most evil motherfucker in the world, but y'all created him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all,
Which,
y'all
you
made
know,
him.
again,
Society.
like you said, as Sidious, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, Sidious was that dude. Sidious was like, yo, he was giving everybody false bullshits. It's all as far he knew what apprentice he wanted, but he know that okay, you a child right now, so boom, you know what I'm saying. But all right, Darth Maul, I'm gonna make you my apprentice. Where you got cut? They ain't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Dooku, I'm gonna make you my
Count
apprentice.
Dooku.
Go through. Don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm ready for you to get iced, you get iced too.
I'm saying, said, oh, that's great. Kill him. And it goes,
and now
what?
And now that I watched Clone Wars, I can understand why his face is like, wait a second. I did all this for you, everything you told me to do. Because remember, he had the dope ass apprentice with one of the witches.
Yes.
I forgot her name.
Yes.
Her
name
I'm talking
is
about.
Assange Ventures or something like that.
Yeah. She was a deadly motherfucker. She eventually turned into a bounty hunter, but when she's on her planet and doing her thing, when she was like his apprentice, she was like unstoppable. And
so Sidious was like, yo, but let me ask you something though. But why you having the princess though? I thought
what's going on with that?
I thought it was the rule of two.
Right. And his son had the son, show me nothing to me. Oh, show me nothing to you? Good.
Killer.
Executor.
Right.
Word.
Killer. That's it, son.
And once again, she became who she was already down for that evil shit already. Absolutely. But now it's like, I'm going to be evil and I don't give a fuck about nobody. But I really just want to see this motherfucker die.
Right.
So whatever we got, whatever plan y'all got that's killing this nigga, whoever I got to join up with to kill this dude,
Let's do it.
You know what I mean? Lovely stories, man. Like,
great stories.
And then in terms of like kids, it's like kids are watching this shit. Like, it's so fucking like. To me, it's like these are complex emotions right now. You got kids watching this shit.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Like,
that's what I love about it.
This to this.
But I'll be honest. To me, it got real the second time we watched it, because the first time I watched Clone Wars with baby girl, she was a baby. Like,
right. She was
like 2 years old. It's like she don't know what half this stuff mean. But that second run when we watched it, that's when she was like, Dad, but how come the clones just follow orders? Hey, Dad, how come there's so many clones? Hey, Dad, but I thought Jedi not supposed to. And I was like, yeah, now we get into the good stuff, baby.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I got to run. Not literally, but I got to go. So we're going to close it out here. I think this is a good enough time frame. Anyway, we gave y'all some fly stuff plus some Star Wars stuff. You know what I'm saying? For those Star Wars fans like us. And yeah. Yo, real quick, you saw the Doctor Strange trailer?
I did.
This new one?
I did.
All right, we'll get into that another time. I just wanted to know if you saw it. All right. Well, that's it for us, folks. I hope y'all enjoyed this pod. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, post it on the gram, all that.
And I see you on the other side, mofos.
That was a perfect ending.
And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out. Let's roll out.